Hey guys, you got Brent Bowers here, aka Johnny Brento, aka Gray Bro, on some of the FPV forums with my initial thoughts on the Fat Shark Attitude goggles, which I just got from UAV America with one of the kits. It comes with a transmitter, and actually the battery was extra. Basically, I was able to. You're looking at a person here that has no DIY sensibility whatsoever. I'm a filmmaker, musician, but I always say I like to play the guitar, don't want to build the guitar. And I feel like this hobby really requires you to build a lot of things. The assembly of the goggles was fairly simple. You just screw in this little antenna right here, it's like that, and plug in. You have to get in a separate battery pack. That's another thing these so-called kits really hit you with is, none of this stuff is cheap. And then of course all the little extras that you actually need to make things work is, they're 60, 70 bucks, whatever. In any case, after a little bit of trial and error, I got them to work. For anyone watching this that doesn't know what FPV is, this right here, these goggles allow me to see through this tiny camera that I've mounted here on my DJI Phantom, so you can get a sense of basically POV of the craft. And the camera is really it has a tilt and pan functionality. It's supposed to work with head tracking, but to my chagrin, I didn't have all the pieces or a good enough controller or transmitter to make that happen. So basically I just have only just a static shot, but a really big piece to deal with. So I ended up mounting it with duct tape, combination of duct tape and Velcro. I Velcroed on my transmitter because you really can't you can't put it all in your case and everything with everything on there, and of course that's a delicate piece, and you have to. It's really crazy what it takes to get this thing going. You got to set everything up, plug the output of the camera into that. Did not have the pieces, even though I bought a specialized cable for the GoPro. Did not have the pieces to actually put it together with this this transmitter, so it's going to be some splicing. I don't feel confident with that. I'm going to go to a friend of mine or something that's got like some sort of electronic skills to do the splicing, but the actual plug comes with it with a whole bunch of cables coming out of it, and I don't know which ends up on that, so I'm going to hook up with a friend. But you have to power this thing off of your battery, your LiPo battery inside, and it means plugging it in and having it where you just barely can get this thing sort of sticks right here on top of the battery door, and it's just super inconvenient the way you have just enough cable to get it there. So yeah, but on the upside, the weight of the transmitter and the camera was really very negligible. I mean, like, I got almost the same time out of the flight as I was getting with just the GoPro itself. I film everything with the GoPro, and my usage for this is not really the experience of flying. It's for the purpose of filming. And I've got a Taro gimbal, which I'm not hip enough to set that up. I'm going to have to find someone to help me with that, which will level out the camera and maintain its level, and also pan and tilt when I get a more expensive controller. So when I first got into this hobby, I thought, what a cool quadcopter, and it's so cheap. It was only about like $700 when I got it, and they've came down since. But what you don't realize is, to really make use of this, you have to buy all these attachments and add-ons, and they are quite expensive. For example, the remote control that I want is $400. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. Back to the experience of flying for the first time. Got to remember to put my tiny lens cap back on that. It's funny. If I can find it, probably already lost it. No, there it is. Tiny little camera. Okay, so as far as the experience of flying, first-person view, I got to say I'm a much better pilot when I'm flying line of sight, because you have a greater sense for, if you're going fast, how long it takes you to slow down and reorientate to a different direction, because you can do a lot of banking with this, which again, not so much for the purposes of flying. That's not useful for flying, for filmmaking, because of course it does all that without your gimbal on there. In other words, when your craft orientates, the view orientates. And on that note, the tiny camera right here, it's really hard to position it exactly in the direction. So I have a general approximation, and it seems to be a little more pointed down, but I mean, I can adjust that somewhat with duct tape. But the weird thing about it is, when you speed up, of course the craft pitches forward and your vision goes straight into the ground. So I find myself with the Fat Shark goggles on doing this a lot. Psychologically I want to look up, when the the tracking, head tracking is working, that'll be great. But for now, you know, I can't. So it's a little bit weird in that regard. But anyway, I find myself up here in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, while my wife's taking a class. I have some time to kill, so I came out to the little park slash baseball field out here to fly away from everybody, because I don't want to be one of those guys that all you all are talking about on the forum for being a dumbass and flying over people in downtown areas and stuff like that. Not to mention the fact that I really don't want to lose this now that I've gotten so used to playing with it and having a lot of fun with it, and so just trying to fly sensible and learn sensible. Just wish I were more DIY oriented like a lot of you are. And yeah, so that's my setup for now. I'm still struggling with how to get the GoPro spliced together and in there, but I think I have a line on how to do that. The head tracking will be my next big task once I have a transmitter and a controller capable of it. For now, the camera is like way overkill. I may actually, if I can get the GoPro to work as my camera, then of course I can take all this off, and that'll be quite good, because I use the GoPro for virtually every fight so I can watch it back. So anyway, that's it. Good fun with the DJI Phantom and FPV set up for the first time, all from Fat Shark Attitude Kit. Thanks for watching.